morning everyone. So we are back to our lesson, what is science, isn't it? Are you ready? Okay, let's start our lesson, what is science? Science is an organized study of knowledge based on experimentation and facts, as I said you earlier, isn't it? Science is also, it's a form of thinking, it's a process of thinking. So it's a tool for this to search the truths of the nature, as I said you earlier. It is a way to explore the world, isn't it? And now various scientists also worked upon it and given us various comfortable life to lead with so on, isn't? Now once again I repeat what we have studied previously and come to our lesson of methods of scientific thinking and also their process skills. Okay, so let's recall the topic that we have already covered in the previous class. See here, science is an organized study of knowledge based on experimentation. It's a tool for searching the truths of nature. It's a way of exploring the world. It's a concerted human effort to understand the history of nature with observable physical evidence, that is, which is proven through the fact. It is observable physical evidence and experimentation, and also coming to the conclusion only with the help of the experimentation under the controlled conditions. Okay children, and this is a process of thinking also, I said you earlier. And scientists also find a very joy in making out the conclusions from the past aspects and also proving from their physical evidence. Okay, sometimes it may be true and sometimes it may also be false, and they try to bring about the wrong ones from the previous ones also. So this is a type of bringing about the truths of the nature. And also scientists find a joy, I said, in finding the truths of the nature. And as Karl Popper said, it is a history of corrected mistakes. We cannot say all the thing, it is the same, it is ever changing, I said you earlier, isn't it? And also the science, it's dependent on the various thinking processes. So the thinking methods or the ways that the scientists use to do the experimentation process or to solve the problems is called the scientific thinking. So this in the scientific methods they use various skills. They are called as process skills, which you are going to see now children. So what are the different process skills? I'll tell you now. So as I said you earlier children, in the scientific method they use various ways of science, that is the scientific methods are observing by asking questions, and making hypotheses, conducting the experiment and drawing first they plan the experiment and conduct the experiment and draw the conclusions from doing the experiment. For all this the scientists require some of the tools to do this experimental skills, that is to make out the scientific thinking. They need certain process skills. They use different process skills at different experimental levels and do the experiment to find out the answer or to solve a problem. To find out the answer for a question or to solve a problem, we can say. So the tools, the various tools that the scientists use to answer a question or to solve a problem are called as the scientific process skills. That is, these are the process skills. See here, observation. They observe and identify the problem first, and they compare with the other ones, and finally come to the conclusion based on the comparing the on what they observe. And next, classify. So this is a classification also. Sometimes by comparing they come to conclusion, or by observation itself sometimes they can come to conclusion, or through the classification. So there are certain terms of classifying the objects into small sizes and shapes, etc. Size, shape, color, etc. So by the classification also they can come to the conclusion and answer a problem or solve a problem. Measuring. So they use or record various measurements by doing their experiment and come to the conclusion of if it is climatic conditions or anything so far. So depending upon the different levels of observation of the nature, they use this process skills to come to the conclusion of what they should do on the basis of the experimentation of what to do them. And record and modeling also. prediction means the think earlier what it is. It is called as prediction. It may be the hypothesis or it sometimes it related to the hypothesis also. That is the possible answer that it can be tested. That is the prediction also can be made. The solution can be predicted earlier by the scientist about the problem that is being arised. Next, inference. So this is one of the process scale where they come to the conclusion after doing the experimentation process under controlled variables. Controlled variables where you need the temperature, rainfall, anything. If it is so for agricultural purpose, you have to maintain these levels. Under the controlled conditions only you can identify of which plant grows in which soil and so forth. So like the different questions of different problems need different process scales to answer for the scientists. Okay. Hypothesis. As I said you earlier, the hypothesis is the possible answer that is to be tested during the experimentation. And all these levels can be proven only through the experimentation, and after the experimentation they record. The scientists not only they do the experiment but also they record their the thing that they have been experimented directly through the measurements or with their scientific vocabulary. They use the scientific vocabulary, measurements and any instruments they use to do the experiment, and all they use in such a manner to finalize or to come to the conclusion of that particular problem. Okay children, so the scientists write what they have recorded. They simply don't say with their words, but they write and make a proof for the next generation to come also. So the scientists know the meaning of science vocabulary. The science vocabulary, they understand what they read. First they simply don't say out what they have done. They know the scientific vocabulary and they write down what they read. And they read the previous works and come to the conclusion with their present work. The scientists write about what they have learnt and in their research and investigation, and help in turn in the research for to understand their work and what they have done. Okay children, so what they have learnt in their research, they try to understand. They try to understand what they have learnt in their research, and they work they have done and put them in the written form, and they know how to read, and they read, write and put it in a we can say that in a practical form. So not simply in a word but also by experimentation they prove and put it in a practical manner. While doing the investigations in the scientific labs, some safety rules also they follow. So what are these rules also I'll say in the next class children. And now the scientists, they do these experiments in their individual perspective and also through the social perspective also. What is the individual perspective and what is the social perspective, I'll tell you now children. See why this science is required. Why this science is required. What is individual perspective and what is social perspective? Why the science required? Now, up to now you have studied about science and its definitions. So why this science is needed? You said that it is a way to lead a comfortable life. Now we are leading with all the enjoyments that you are enjoying today. That is the modern in this modern world with the mobile phones, internets. That is the hybrid varieties of agriculture, food grains, and the varieties of that is medicines that you get it in the form that you are saving yourself. So transport facilities, everything that we are enjoying today is due to the efforts of those human brains, where their efforts made our life better and better form, isn't it? Now, so why this science? This science, as the people have conducted the experiments, why they have conducted these experiments, I'm telling you now today. Why do people conduct experiments? What are they doing? This is the question that arises in every one of our minds. In most of the above cases, they are collecting information to test the new ideas or to disprove the old ones. That is, to prove the older ones, or some of the, in the individual perspective, we can say that is one of them is in individual perspective, we can say science is essential. To perspective and societal perspective, in two ways we can answer this question. Okay children, how the individual perspective means the scientist he himself find a joy in finding faults with the older ones, or in again doing the experiments and coming to the conclusions to their experimentation of what they had done. So that is an individual perspective. In individual perspective we can say అంటే వాళ్ళంతటి వాళ్ళుగా వాళ్ళు ఆనందం పొందటం, వాళ్ళ ప్రీవియస్ చేసిన ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ని వాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ చేయడము, దాంట్లో మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళు తప్పులు కనుక్కోవడము, వాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ దాంట్లో ఆనందం పొందడం అనేది తన సొంతంగా వాళ్ళు పొందుతున్నారు. అదొక విధంగా మనకి సైన్స్ అనేది స్వతహాగా ఎంతో దోహదపడుతుందని మనం చెప్పచ్చు అనమాట. So they are collecting information to test the new ideas or disprove the older ones. Scientists become famous for discovering the new things that change how we think about nature, whether the discovery is a new species of dinosaur or a new way in which we atoms bond. Many scientists, and take examples, two examples are being given here about the dinosaur that is not now, isn't extinct now. And now at the discovery of atoms, bondage and all, it is a discovery of the chemicals, that is chemists, they discover about the atoms and all, isn't it? So this is many scientists find their greatest joy in previously unknown fact, a discovery, that is called as a discovery. Now you should know what is the difference between a discovery and invention. Discovery is that which is not known earlier, that is called as a discovery. And that is known as invention. That is known, which is not known earlier, that is called as invention. And discovery is that is which is known earlier, but it is again got through the facts by experimentation. That is called as discovery. Invention means that is not known earlier, that is known as the invention. So they find very joy, many of the scientists find joy in discovering the new concepts that explain some problems previously not explained, or what overturns with the previously accepted data. So in this individual's perspective, scientists find the greatest joy. And coming to the societal perspective, as in case we say that is improving the society. How does the science improve the society? In what way that the science improved the society? As I said you earlier, that the science is bringing us a lot of comforts to us in many ways, in various fields, in agriculture, climatic zone, that we know the climate today, that how it is, the geographical conditions, everything is being learnt and known in earlier, isn't it? So this is due to the science in itself, isn't it? So these are the cases where the science helped a lot for us. In the societal perspective also we can say that the scientists have helped us a lot, and the science help us a lot. So if the ideas above said explain why individuals do science, one might still wonder why societies and nations pay those individuals to do science. So some individuals, they learn science and they become the scientist. So some are paying to them to do the research work and all. So why are they paying to them? To make the society in a better condition. Is it clear? So they are also paid. Why are they paid? Research, they are doing the research works and they are also paid. So they, under the societal perspective also we can say that the science is very much helpful. So why does the society devote some of its resources to this business of developing new knowledge about the natural world? This business of developing new knowledge, that means the development of science, or what has motivated these scientists to devote their lives to develop this new knowledge of science. So what has been motivated them? What our realm of answers lies in the desire to improve the life of the people. So one of the main things for societal perspective is to, why is it the science important for the society to develop the life of people. To develop the life of people, it is very important. So, here see children, genetics trying to understand how certain characters are passed from generation to generation, and biologists tracing the pathways by which the diseases are transmitted or clearly seeking information to improve the lives of the ordinary people, isn't it? So here the geneticists or the biologists, here these are the scientists, geneticists and the biologists are the scientists. Now you are going to learn about the scientists. Who are they? Who are they? Geneticists. Who are geneticists? Who are geneticists, children? So the geneticists are the people who passed, that is they are trying to understand how the certain characters are transferred from one generation to another generation. That is genetic information, the characters of the parents and the children, how they are moved from one generation to other generation. They try to study about them. And the biologists, as I said you earlier about the biology, the subject itself, and who study the biology, they are called as biologists. And what do? Biologists do. They tracing the pathways by which the diseases are transmitted clearly, seeking the information to improve the lives of the ordinary people, isn't it? So how the diseases are transmitted and all. So biology, lifespan, how to increase the lifespan of an individual is being learned by the biologists, and from this we can say that they are saving the lives of the people. Is it clear? And earth scientists developing better models for the prediction of weather or for the prediction of earthquakes, landslides and volcanic eruptions, etc. So earth scientists, geologists. Who are they called as? Geologists, isn't it? So they, climatologists, geologists. What do? They weather forecast will be given, climate, how the climate is, everything is being predicted earlier. So to know early, it is called as prediction. So they predict, the climatologists and all, they predict, as I said in their process skills, one of the process skills of the scientist is prediction. So this is one of the process skills to solve the problem of the climate, isn't it? So earth scientists develop better models for the prediction of weather or the prediction of the earthquakes, landslides and volcanic eruptions. These are the natural calamities that occur and they are been predicted earlier by the earth scientists and they are referred to here. And next, seeking knowledge that can help avoid the hardships that have plagued the humanities for centuries together. So we have to survive on this earth forever. Not forever, it so cause for a time being too, with a comfortable life, so that you can seek the help of these scientists, and scientists are helping the society in that manner. So any society concerned about the welfare of its people, which is at least any democratic society should do, will support efforts like these to better people's lives. So the scientists are doing the better to increase the life of the people. And next, another realm of answers lies in the society's desires. One is life of the people and the other one is desire to improve the life. One is to improve the life of the society and the society's desire. What is the society's desire? Society's desire to find the comforts in its life, in their life, for economic development. So the scientists have developed, or the science developed the science. Why they have developed the science? For the improvement of their life and also to lead a comfortable life. For the improvement of their life and also to lead a comfortable life. To lead a comfortable life, what did they do? We'll see now. So many earth scientists devote their work to finding more efficient or more effective ways to discover or recover natural resources like petroleum and ores. Isn't it? So these are the natural products which are very limited, and these earth scientists, they try to work out on these bases to increase these natural resources to meet all the available population, to meet the desire of the population or the society. Plant scientists. So here the earth scientists, plant scientists who are called as botanists. Botanists. Okay, plant scientists seeking strains and species of fruiting plants for crops are ultimately working to increase the agricultural crops that nutritionally and literally enriches the nation. So you need the plant scientists to develop the variety of plant crops both in the food and also the fruits, and the coming society should get all the requirements which is necessary for their development. That is, economic development can be made through the plant scientists also, through the earth scientists and the plant scientists. Earth scientists bring about the economic development by improving the natural resources, and also the plant scientists also can do the same thing. Okay, so chemists developing the new chemical substances with potential technological applications, and that is the chemists. As I said you earlier, the atom bombs and all, their research are made for the economical development of the nation. And the physicists developing the new phenomena like superconductivity are likewise developing the knowledge that may spur economic development. So chemists, physicists, so it's called as physicists. Okay, so in world where nations increasingly view themselves as caught up in economical competition, support for such science is nothing less than an investment in the economic future. So all these scientists are paid for their work, for their research work. They are being paid for the development of their science in their own fields. So geneticists in their field of the transfer of the chromosome, that is the study of the chromosomal level from one generation to another generation, how the characters are in their generations are being studied by the geneticists, and the improvement of the lifespan has been made by them. So they are paid biologists to improve the lifespan of the bios, that is the life, and various species, how to develop, increase the various species they are also thinking about, and they are paid so far. And earth scientists, plant scientists, chemists, physicists, all they are doing for the economic development. So they are paid for economic development. Hope you have understood this, children. And lastly, scientists support science because of simple curiosity in them. So why they support science? Because of their simple curiosity that come from the knowledge and the world around them, and the enlightenment, simple curiosity and the satisfaction that comes from the enlightenment of they live around. Okay, children. So why the scientists like the science, or why do they improve science? That means scientists support science because of their simple curiosity, satisfaction and enlightenment. Curiosity, satisfaction and enlightenment that comes from the knowledge of the world around us. Okay, children. So that is about the various scientists. Ecologist. Who is ecologist? He observes the behavior of nature. Geologist. He examines the fossils. Astrophysicist. He takes the first photographs of the distant galaxies. Climatologist. He controls the data from the weather conditions. Genetist. He understands how the characters, that is transfers from one generation to other generation. Pathologist. He traces out the pathway of the diseases, how they are transmitted. Okay, next physicist. He develops the superconductivity, that is the phenomena of the superconductivity. Chemist develops the various chemical behaviors of the substances, new chemical substances, and the biologist, he studies the living organisms and their interrelationships and the internal structures. So this is about the scientific thinking is very much essential to develop the science, and the economical development takes place through the development of science in itself, and it takes place through the scientific thinking, and scientific thinking leads to it has various ways or the methods by which the identification of the problem is essential by making hypothesis, controlling the measures, that is collecting the information that is required through the experimentation, and data analysis, analyzing the data of which the experimentation is done, and result analysis to be made, and then generalizing the concept based on the experimentation and fact, and coming to the conclusion. So these are all the ways of the scientific ways in which the science is being developed so far. Hope you have understood what is science, children, and the science is mainly based upon the observations, experimentation, recording, and it is the scientists normally try to put ideas, new ideas, to explain the nature in a better way. They try to improve their new ideas to explain the nature in a better way. Okay, children, that is about the science. It is both on experimental basis, observation basis, and the experimental basis. So we can say that science is very essential to lead a comfortable life, and in food production, maybe in a food production, in maintenance of the food production, or infrastructures, the improvement of the infrastructure of the various facilities that we need it, and medicinal facilities, transport facilities, in whatever the field it is, the science is very, very essential. It is bringing out the various developments in the field of the science, and so it is helping in the economic development of the society. So we can say it is for the betterment of the life of a society, and to improve the lifespan of the individual. Science is paving a lot of way for bringing the life more and better. Okay, children, so this is about the science. Science can be seen both in individual perspective and societal perspective. Individual perspective, to bring happiness to the scientist himself, which brings the joy from finding the experiments of the past to present conditions. And also in the societal perspective, it has been paid also for his investigations and research purpose in the various fields of science, like genetics, biologists, earth scientists like geologists, climatologists, etc., and the plant scientists like botanists, chemists, physicists, etc. These are all the so many scientists are being paid for their works in their own fields to develop the society in a better condition. Okay, children, have a nice day. Try to have a complete study of this lesson through the textbook reading. Okay, have a reading over the textbook and come prepared for the next class. Have a nice day, children.